Architecture as a kind of language, I think it can be divided into two parts: what to see and how to see. This is what to see, but this one pay more attention to how to see. Erich Mendelsohn, whose work had changed a lot through his life. I want to treat these changes as kind of transform between what to see and how to see, and to analyze that how did he combine these two things together to generate the Raciel house. When he studied in the university, he was highly influenced by some expressionism artists. The Einstein Tower, maybe his most famous work, has smooth lines through the whole building, which inspires people to feel the transform between the space and time in Einstein's theory. After Einstein Tower, Erich Mendelsohn designed the head factory. These two buildings established his status as an expressionism architect. After the First World War, Erich Mendelsohn founded an organization named Daring with Vandal and Gropius to explore the new language for architecture. Skoken department stores was designed by Erich Mendelsohn in 1925. In this design, the different layers of the building was shown on the surface. Erich Mendelsohn wanted to use this way to combine the function inside the building and the surface outside the building together to create a new language. But in my own thinking, the trademark of the explosion of the new forms was that the architect started to pay attention to the relationship of the mass rather than only the change on the surface of the building. The mass's change can better show the functional relationship of the building and started a real new language in the architecture. Miss Vandal built this building in 1930s. I use it just as an example to show architecture language change during that time. The reasons change do not happen only on the surface, but also in the whole mass's relationship. Windows and doors became elements on the walls, using their position to show the balance of the whole building instead of making the whole patterns on surface. And you can get knowledge of the function from the comparison between each masses of the building. A totally new language was born. Erich Mendelsohn also showed high interest in this new language. In the project of Cohen House in London, Erich also tried to play the game on mass. All the surface stuff became no meaning at all. The comparison between the solid wall and the transparent glass inspired people who was looking at the building to think about the function behind the door. This building is the only house by Erich Mendelsohn in Bay Area. Was built between 1947 and 1952. The Cohen House is always treated as a very important project to Erich Mendelsohn as a modernist architect. But in my opinion, the Raciel House and the Cohen House have several parts in common in the architectural language from each other. The first is they both use three-dimensional formation to find the balance between the elements of whole building. The second one is their material using are both very simple and clear. The circle balcony was first used in Delaware Pavilion, the most famous international style work of Erich Mendelsohn. This building's interior was always seen as Art Deco, and the circle elements make the Raciel house do not as cold as Cohen House. In the design of Raciel house, Erich Mendelsohn made the space bite together. The transform between outside and inside space became very smoothly. The way of defining space jumped out the limitation of the only wall using, and this helped the feeling of the building become warmer. The three-dimensional language helped Erich to express the feeling of family, but not only the house. What to see and how to see. was combined together.